All right, in this video we're going to go in and take a look at the concept of creating a document library, which is really a report library to save Excel workbooks for SharePoint 2010 Excel services. So let's remote in. And I'm into the remote box over here. I'm running Athena Group BI. And we're going to create a library. So I'm going to use the quick launch. And I'm going to click on library and I'll go into the create button. And up pops my REST API. And I'll go in all types and I want to go to library. And what we want to create is one of these report libraries. But by the way, when you create an enterprise business intelligence site, you will not by default see this report library enabled. Rather frustrating. Let me show you how to fix that if you run across that, which is very common and poorly documented. We're going to go into Site Actions, and I want to come down here and I want to look at Site Settings. And within the Site Settings, well, let me first off just make sure that you've got on your Site Collection Features, though this should be enabled, make sure that you have the SharePoint Server Enterprise Site Collection Features enabled on the site collection. But let's go back. Let's assume that that's going to be good, but that needs to be enabled. So now let's go back to Site Settings, and what we want to look at in here on the site, under Site Actions, we want to go in and say Manage Site Features. Drilling down within Site Features, you see this, there she is. This SharePoint Server Enterprise Site Features on the site. You want to go down and make sure that's activated. It will not be active by default. Right? And if you don't see the report library, that's pretty much what's going on there. Assuming that you're running enterprise, you've got a BI template and all that other stuff. So let's go in and create one now. Let's go back home just to start again. And we'll go libraries. And we're going to go create. And we're going to select file type library. And we want to create a report library. And I'm going to name this RND Excel Reports. Right. And down here, if I take a look at more options, see I can give it a name. I do want it on the quick launch over here, that's fine. And I do want versioning enabled. So I'm going to just come through and click create. Okay, my document library is created, R&D Excel Reports, and just to look at it, if we go over to library settings, here's the columns that are in there in our parent ID, report category, description, all this other stuff in here for our reports that we can post on up to the report library. One other thing, this is not a course obviously on administrating SQL, but SQL, SharePoint. So what we do want to look at though is I've added this report library, and we would want to add, someone would want to add the report libraries in as a trusted location. So just to show you, sorry, I've got, tell me I do. Oh yeah, Central Administration up and running. Oh, I must have clicked another. Okay, I've got Central Administration up and running. So if we go in here and we go, I want to look at Service Applications. And now I want to look at my Excel Service Application. And I want to go into this Trusted File Locations. And as you see, we're trusting root down here. And if I want to, not trust root, and I would delete that on out, and then I would get rather specific, which is really what you want to do in a true deployment. So we're going to add trusted file location, and down here it's asking, what is the storage type that we're doing? And what we want to bring in is that document library that we had up, and now let's hope I can click on the right thing. So here's my Excel library. I'm going to copy the URL, Control C. I'm going to switch browsers, and now I'm going to paste, Control V, and then I'm going to trim back the URL all the way back just so it gets the folder in there, and I'm going to say OK. And now there's the folder, it's trusted in there, and I did not select the option to trust children as we descended on down, but let's go in and look at that. If I came down here and I wanted to trust my children, I would just go in there and select trust children, So we went on down within that library, and you set the other values in here also. And here's also, by the way, your UDFs, if you allow UDFs, and beyond scope. But I'm just going to say okay, and we're going to trust the children, and that's how you configure central administration for your Excel services if you're not trusting everybody. So that's all there is to it. To add a new item in here, we would show you that a little bit later.